Recording.
Let me take a deep breath so I can get this intro about retching or something like that. Okay. Well, hello and welcome to the second episode of DTH Reviews. We are back. I wasn't sure if we... One second. This is going to be a hard one. Well, hello and welcome to the second episode of DTH Review... Oh, God. Can't even say reviews. Oh, hello, and welcome back to DTH Reviews. We're here. It's the second week. We've made it. Obviously, it all really depended on how you guys reacted, if we were going to be back or not. If you hated us, because, oh, f*** that is rubbish. Okay, I got this. It's really difficult. Difficult to not sound like a complete...
Yeah.
Well, hello, and welcome back to DTH Reviews. We're back. It's week 2. We're on DTH 2 weeks in a row. Jesus Christ, what's going on? Quickly before we start our next game, I just wanted to say a quick thank you. You guys were generally positive about our last review, which is always nice. It was a little bit scary, and you guys made us feel at home. So, yeah, thanks.
So I figured we should probably state our schedule to the world so that it's out there and we have to stick to it. So Payday 2 next week, that's August 29th. Saints Row the 4th, September 5th. Probably Splinter Cell, even though I don't want to play it.
You'll love it.
Splinter Cell, September 12th. Rayman Legends, woo, September 19th. And then GTA 5 single player, September 26th. And that's for the next 5 weeks, so it's out there. We have to do it now.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, God.
Our life is so hard to play video games and talk about them. Jesus.
I know. Okay, let's start this review. I played 2033 like a week before last light.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You hadn't played it before that, or was that a replay?
I had attempted to play it several times, but my computer couldn't max it out and maintain a stable frame rate, and
So you wouldn't play it?
I just refused to lower graphics settings, so I never played it. And then I upgraded my PC and was able to max it out and play it, and 2033 is pretty good. It's really rough, though. It's got a lot of weird things, and then... But by the end of it, I was strangely and unexpectedly excited for Last Light. And Last Light is... I don't know. It's really good. I really, really, really like it. Yeah,
I really like it as well. I think one of the... Probably the main thing that we should talk about, or at least start off with, is the setting, because it's not original, but the fact that nearly like 75% of the game is based in like a metro is you know, it's pretty original. It's pretty unique, and I like the metro setting. I like it's kind of like claustrophobic. It's very dark, and the second I guess you could say like base setting is actually the surface, when you actually go out and you venture onto the radioactive surface. And I think the fact that it's mainly based in the metro makes the surface like almost satisfying, because you finally get to see sunlight, and you finally get to see like you know, landscapes and pass 2 feet in front of your face. So I think the fact that it's mainly based in these dark and dingy underground tunnels makes the small segments, well, not small segments, it's about, I'd say about 30% of the game. When you finally like bust out into the surface, it's pretty as well. The surface is it's a nice looking place, but it also makes it like so refreshing and almost like a relief to say.
How did it look? How does the game look on the 360?
It's okay. What the footage you're watching now is recorded off Xbox, so it's not going to be anywhere near as shiny as your beautiful Infinite footage you recorded last week. There were some very nice landscape scenes, as I said, when you surface and like your eyes adjust to the light and there's a bit of lens flare, and then you look forward and you see these vistas, and they did look nice, but it's not quite up to date with some of the most recent titles. I mean, we've been playing Infinite and Last of Us recently, and then when you go back to Metro, it doesn't quite live up to it. But I didn't complain, you know. I didn't notice that it was terrible.
Right, because on the PC there were several occasions where it kind of looked like the best thing I've ever played.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one of them that really stood out was the like spiders that are afraid of light sections.
Oh yeah, they was
there's
they
like
a
certain, I don't know, just like the animation and the effects and the motion blur on those things. Those little sections looked like unrealistically good. There were times in Metro Last Light where it's just, yeah, it was kind of shocking just how good it looks at times. And for such a small developer to put out such an insanely good-looking game with just an absurd amount of detail in every area, it's pretty surprising. I mean, Metro 2033 looked really, really good, but Last Light is sort of another step up from it.
Yeah, you're right. It probably looked much better when you played it than on my dusty old Xbox. But yeah, I had no complaints when it came to the graphical department. Should we move on to the combat then?
Yeah, combat's weird.
Yeah, it's interesting.
2033 combat was not very good.
It was just run-of-the-mill FPS, wasn't it?
It was almost like run-of-the-mill, and I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It sort of felt appropriate to the world, you know, like the
roughness of it.
I mean, the sort of difficulty in killing everything sort of felt appropriate, even though the gameplay wasn't really good. It suited the world, and then with Last Light, they've really, really improved the gunplay.
It felt good, yeah.
It does feel really good. I was quite surprised, but I think my favorite part of the combat is all of the in-world stuff that they do, like the filters and charging your flashlight, and the fact that there's a whole button to wiping your gas mask is my favorite thing of the year, I think.
Yeah.
Because the little sound it makes is so good, and the little effect on the gas mask wiping is, oh man, it's so good.
So this is funny because I actually completely forgot what button it is. So I literally did it once in the tutorial and then went through the whole game with a dirty gas mask.
Oh jeez.
So we have no footage of me wiping a gas mask.
That's okay. I'll just capture hours of me wiping a gas mask.
But the problem was, like you said, I did like the in-game stuff. We had to, charge your light up. But on console, they didn't have enough buttons to map all these things to. So it took quite a long time to get used to it. I think you had to hold down LB, and then this whole screen of like 8 different options would appear where you could, like, as I said, charge a flashlight. There was a lighter. There was just. So it took quite a long time to get used to, and then you had to hold down Y if you wanted to change your throwables, your weapons, and your bullets. So it was just for consoles, because they didn't have enough buttons to map the controls to. It was a bit overwhelming at first, but eventually it's quite a long game. It's about 10 plus hour. So by the end of it, you got used to it, but it was definitely probably made more functional on the PC.
One thing I really kind of didn't like were the 3 sort of mini boss fights.
Yes, yeah, I've got to fix that.
The first one against the giant swamp bug thing is it kind of sucked, because they don't really, and this is for all of the enemies, they don't really do a good job of showing that you're damaging them.
Yes, I know.
Like in lots of other games, you shoot someone and they react to it, whereas in both Metro games, you just sort of shoot them full of bullets, and they eventually drop dead, but you have no idea if you're doing any damage to them. And that was the case with the boss fights, except they just took 4 times the amount of damage. And the first time I encountered the bug thing, I didn't know if I could actually kill it.
Yeah, I was running around.
Because it just, those parts were probably the low point, I think.
I do agree. There was one, I won't spoil what it is. Well, we'll put up footage of it anyway, but it's like, I don't know, it's like a wood rhino type boss. And that was just literally just running around unloading like 5 million bullets into it and hoping for the best. I had no idea what I was doing. I just want to talk about the human comment. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, how did you like the stealth?
I liked it, but I thought it was almost too generous with how invisible you were, to say, when you were in the darkness. You could literally just be about 1 foot away from a man, but because, you have a little indicator on your watch, and it says apparently you're in the dim, it's not even pitch black, and he just can't see you or sense you. So I did like it. It was satisfying, but I thought the human combat was really, really easy. And
yeah, it really was. I really enjoyed the stealth. Like, it was, like you said, it's really easy, but that means it sort of results in it being pretty satisfying.
Yeah.
Because most of the time stealth is just like you failing over and over again, and it's sort of nice to just sneak around and be successful at stealth. And like, I really like the fact that you untwist the light bulbs and things like that. Like, those are cool, but yes, like the fact that you can walk up to someone's face and be like a foot away, and they're looking right at you and they don't see you is, yeah.
Yeah, the AIs are pretty retarded. But overall it's fun, and I like the use of light. You know, you can turn off the light so you can hide in the darkness. But I thought it was a bit too easy. I didn't die for the whole game,
really?
And that's not, I didn't die once. That's not a lie. But then you get to the monster combat, and as I said, it's a bit more difficult because they swarm you and they're running all over the place. So it's kind of balanced, but yeah, I thought the human difficulty could have been human battles could have been a bit more challenging. I liked how in the first game it's very humans versus these radioactive monsters, and it starts off the same. Last Light starts off you versus the monsters, or a monster, but I won't go into that until spoiler section. And then it kind of twists halfway through. It's not really a twist, so this isn't the biggest spoiler, but it ends up being you versus humans, which I thought was interesting, because it looked more into like the community aspect of the metro system, and you saw more of the civilizations, to say, and the different parties. So the story kind of led down this battle between the people, where the monsters were kind of just, you know, they were there and they were enemies, but it wasn't really their story. So it was just slightly confusing in a couple of sections. Like, you really can't. There's some bits
there
where
are
like,
so many Russian names in that game.
Yeah. But there's some like crucial plot moments that you can literally walk past. Like, you'll be in an air duct and you're eavesdropping, and you can literally just crawl past it. So you need to make sure to spend your time and listen to what's going on.
I don't know, yeah, it's hard to follow a lot of the times what's going on.
Yeah, I got lost a couple of times.
And I think that's because none of the characters are really very memorable.
No.
And because they all sort of, I don't know, they're all, yeah, it's the characters especially are sort of get a little muddled.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There was one section of the game where you had like a companion friend who followed you, and I liked that. I liked having a little, you know, guy/buddy next to me. But that didn't last long. And there were times at the end where you were reunited with characters, and I had no idea who they were. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying about the characters. I thought the game was well paced. That was one thing I noticed.
Definitely.
Because, as I said about the two kind of base settings, which is the surface and there's the underground, and then there's kind of two different sets of enemies, which is the monsters and the humans. And they do a good job of kind of pacing them at different times, and staggering them through the game. So you'd be fighting humans and monsters. And
yeah, they do a good job of switching back between humans. You know, you definitely fight more humans than monsters.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
The monster stuff feels a lot longer, probably because they're more difficult and it's a bit more intense. But yeah, it's really tightly paced. You know, and switching back and forth between not only the enemies but also the environments, like going up onto the surface and coming back down. And
I also liked in this game how the monsters, when you're on the surface, you kind of go into their environment, and they don't always attack you. You can kind of see them doing their own thing and interacting and fighting other monsters. And there was one section where there was actually, I can't remember what the flying ones are called. They sometimes pick you up and chuck you around. But he actually was fighting me, and I realised I'd killed him, and he actually had like a child on the floor, and he was just protecting his baby. So I think I got a negative karma for that. But that was like pretty unique. And I like the little touches they did for the AI and the monsters.
Yeah, and there's that whole karma system as well.
I literally did not realise that until I'd finished the game.
Yeah, it's really poorly explained, but I mean, there's like the flash to white with one sound, and then like a sort of flash to red with a different sound means it was bad, and yeah, it's
subtle. I didn't notice it at all.
But it's cool that it's there, I think. You know, there's a lot of things in both the games that aren't very well explained, but I really like that they're there. So, in conclusion, I thought it was good. It was very varied. It was paced really well. As we said, I really liked the setting. The combat could be tweaked slightly, I think, but it was a good effort. The story wasn't the best part about the game. I think the setting is the best part about the game, but it's good. It is good. Personally, for me, I give it 4 stars out of 5. You know, I was sort of thinking about giving it a 5 stars, but I think 4. I think 4 is appropriate. It's still got issues, but it's a really, really cool and unique game, and it's so neat that it exists. And I don't know, it's kind of an accomplishment, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It's cool,
and it's a damn good game. I really, really liked it.
Okay, now we're gonna do just a little section where we clarify some things that came up frequently in the last video. I think one that we should... I mentioned it in the intro, but I think we should just say again that we are not the Mythbuster peer guys team. We do not own this channel. We are simply guests who can come on and talk about video games. That's just a clarification. Laying that on the table. We can't give you Mythbusters. I'm sorry. They're coming, but we can't.
Not yet.
We can't do it.
Though I heard there's some big open world game thing coming out. I don't know.
Oh.
They might be doing. I don't know about. I don't know.
I should look
There's
into
probably
that.
not going to be many myths about that game.
Yeah.
We'll have to just wait for Halo 5 next fall.
Yeah. It was heavily requested that we do The Last of Us, which is highly unlikely for the main fact that we actually did it as our test review to test the recording, and it came out a bit over an hour long just because
it's sort of a shit show. Sorry, everybody.
Well,
it's like an hour-long recording, and it's full of audio issues, and
I can't bother to record.
We recorded it as our test review to sort of work out some kinks before we did some proper reviews, and if people really want it,
well, the thing is, it's just such an amazing game that we just spent an hour complimenting every single aspect about the game. So basically, our Last of Us review is it's fucking amazing. Basically,
there you go.
There you go. There's 2 reviews in one. Wow, you're being treated.
Yeah, and as we said in the intro, it's still weekly, and we have now laid out our schedule to the people, so we have to stick to it, and we will.
Well, I'm being a bit of a pain in the arse, and I'm leaving for this week. So next week's video has the possibility to be either late or non-existent because I'm leaving for 5 days on a trip. So, but then we're on a proper schedule.
Yeah.
So I'm already screwing it up. We just started.
Typical.
I'm already screwing up.
Has to go on another vacation.
But we should be back next week. I don't know. It's my fault. But we're here. We've been here 2 weeks in a row. It's DTH, and they posted 2 videos in a row. Jesus Christ, and it's not Myth Madness, so amazing, eh? We've done it. So that's all we have to really say. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.